The shouting started low, like background noise you try to ignore. Laughter. Whispers. Then sharper voices. I looked out through the curtain and saw her, my neighbor, standing stiff near the gate, clutching her phone like it was the only solid thing left in the world. 5 young men had circled her. Not touching. Not yet. Just close enough to steal her breath. One blocked the gate. Another leaned in too close, saying something that made her flinch. They were enjoying it. The power. The fear. The fact that the street was busy but no one was stopping. Cars slowed. Curtains twitched. No one stepped out. I told myself it wasn't my business. That someone else would intervene. That it was probably nothing. Then one of them laughed and reached out, just enough to brush her arm. That's when she looked around. Not screaming. Not crying. Just looking. Like she was counting how many people were watching her be humiliated. Our eyes met. I don't know what she saw on my face, but her lips trembled. She took a step back and hit the gate. Trapped. My heart started pounding so loud I could hear it in my ears. I didn't think. I didn't plan. I just stepped outside. The moment my foot hit the pavement, everything shifted. I didn't shout. Didn't threaten. I simply walked forward and stood beside her. Close enough that my shoulder touched hers. She inhaled sharply, like she'd been holding her breath for minutes. One of the men scoffed. What, you her boyfriend? I looked at him. Straight in the eyes. Calm. Quiet. No, I said. I'm her neighbor. That was it. Something about the way I said it, steady, unafraid, made them hesitate. Another man glanced behind them. People had started watching more openly now. A shopkeeper stepped out. A car stopped completely. The laughter faded. I took out my phone. Didn't even unlock it. Just held it up. Police are on the way, I said. It was a lie. But they didn't know that. Silence spread fast. Heavy. Uncomfortable. One of them muttered something under his breath. Another stepped back. Then another. The circle broke. They walked away without another word. No cheers. No applause. Just the sound of footsteps retreating and a street pretending nothing had happened. My neighbor's knees buckled. I caught her before she fell. Thank you, she whispered. No one ever does anything. I watched the men disappear around the corner, my hands still shaking. Neither of us spoke for a moment. The street went back to normal. But I knew something had changed. Because sometimes, all it takes to freeze an entire street is one person deciding not to look away. Thought the worst was over. The men were gone, the street was quiet, and she was safe, at least for now. But then I saw it. A shadow moved across the alley behind us. Just one, at first, but enough to make my pulse spike. My neighbor froze, eyes wide, gripping my arm like she wouldn't let go. Stay close, I whispered. The figure stepped into the light. A sixth man, taller, broader, with a look that sent chills straight down my spine. He wasn't laughing. He wasn't sneering. He was watching, waiting. Before I could react, he smiled. A slow, cruel smile. You think it's over, he said, voice low. It's just beginning. I didn't flinch. I had to stay calm. My hands tightened into fists, not out of fear, but to show him I wasn't backing down. Then something unexpected happened. My neighbor didn't step back. She lifted her chin. Something fierce flickered in her eyes. I realized she wasn't as helpless as I thought. You picked the wrong person, she said, voice steady now. The tall man hesitated, confused by her sudden courage. That split second was all it took. I saw the other shadows, yes, more men, start to retreat. One by one, they vanished into the darkness. The sixth man glanced around. His confidence faltered. "This isn't finished," he growled, then disappeared into the alley. We stood there in the quiet night, breaths heavy, hearts pounding. The street was empty again, but something had changed. She looked at me, a half-smile breaking through the fear. "I thought I was alone," she said. "You're not," I replied. "Not now. Not ever." But deep down, I knew this wasn't the end. It never is with people like that. The night had frozen the street once, but it had also awakened something inside both of us, a courage we didn't know we had. And somehow, I knew, the next time they returned, we'd be ready. The next morning, the street looked normal. Sunlight spilled over cracked pavements, and the neighbors were back to their routines. But I couldn't shake the feeling that last night wasn't over. I was checking on her, making sure she was safe, when I noticed something on the gate. A note. Small, folded, written in messy letters, "You think you've won. Watch your back." My stomach tightened. I knew exactly who it was. But then, she surprised me. "I'm not scared," she said, crumpling the note in her hand. "Not anymore." We decided to take action. Not violence, not threats. Just proof. We set up a small camera near the alley, discreetly, capturing every corner. If they came back, we'd know. And this time, we'd be ready. Night fell again. The same silence. The same tension. And then I saw them, 5 shadows moving slowly, confident, thinking we were vulnerable. But we weren't. The camera caught everything. Every step. Every whisper. Every look of hesitation as they realized someone had prepared for them. The sixth man, the leader, stood frozen for the first time, unsure, calculating. We called the police immediately. And this time, they didn't run. Not fully. Not easily. They were caught before they could harm anyone again. The street finally exhaled. People came out of their homes, curious, watching, whispering. They looked at us, and I realized something. Courage is contagious. Sometimes it's not about fighting with your fists. It's about standing firm, being prepared, and refusing to let fear control you. She turned to me, a small, victorious smile on her face. "I guess the street won't forget this," she said. "No," I said. "And neither will we." The city moves on. Life resumes. But the memory of that night, the courage, the fear, the silence, lingers. And sometimes, all it takes to change a street is 2 people deciding not to back down.